Good afternoon. My name is Justin Gann, and this is First Speech 103. Good afternoon, guys. Today I'm going to speak to you guys about something that's going on in the society that I think is very important to know some information about. Do any of you guys know what organized crime is?
I do.
You do?
It's the reason for the RICO
Okay.
stats.
Okay. Good. Anybody else? No? Yeah?
It's like the mob running crime like an organization or a corporation.
Good. Good answer. That's very close. So, organized crime is a category of national and local groups that are basically centralized enterprises that are forming groups that is based around criminal activity. So that could be mostly common with money or something for profit. But generally that's what's going on with the drug world that we're in today. So the question that I have to ask is, how do we solve the problem without creating a bigger problem? There's a few things we can do. So there's policies that are focused on suppressing, and it's not effective. Suppressing the problem is just making the problem bigger and causing more inflation on circumstances like that are going on in Mexico. Where the policies and procedures, such as a high value targeting, are inflicting groups rather than fixing them. They're legalizing drugs. They're legalizing marijuana. Do we think that that's going to fix the problem? Probably not. It's probably going to make the problem a little bit worse. So we have political capital of crime gangs, which is organized crime, particularly in vicious impact of the state strong bonds and their larger segments in the population. And many people around the world are looking at this organized crime and thinking that they're not really the problem. They're looking at it like they're trying to organize people to actually fix the drug world, which in fact, criminal groups provide a huge margin of the population with employment, with money, jobs, opportunities for social advancement. I mean, who would have guessed that? You know what I mean? That the drug world is forming jobs, but they're illegal jobs, right? So we have levels of security that are being taken over. They're suppressing robberies, theft, kidnapping, murders. There's informal courts being held that are just basically putting people in jail and not really fixing the solution. So the drug world, the organized crime facilities, their organizations are getting bigger, but they're taking the little problem and setting it away, right? So why do we legalize drugs? Do we think it's an answer? Do we think that legalizing drugs is the answer? Although there are frequent studies done on legalizing, let's say, marijuana, there are much more underlining problems that come from legalizing marijuana. Yes, we need it for medical reasons, but there's a way of legalizing medical marijuana treatment as opposed to just saying, here, you can grow your own plant and focus on that. You're able to grow this many plants because of your medical condition. So there should be ways of forming, let's say, even a medical marijuana substance for cancer patients. They have that. It's a liquid form. So why would they need to go and grow their own plant when there's already the form that is needed to help them with nausea, with pain. There's no need for legalizing marijuana for the medical people that need the marijuana. So, something that I've looked up are some ways that we can effectively control drugs and the drug market. The first thing that is shift the resource into programs that are beneficial to our society. So, like the U.S. drug control strategy has been approached primarily as a law enforcement issue. Okay, police have done their jobs with arresting people, putting them away. There's been drug seizures, multiple, lots and lots of them. You know, over the last, let's just say over the last 10 years, there have been millions of drug seizures. And the drug problem can be reduced if less cost, if we can change our course and strategies into what really work. So like the federal budget is limited programs, they need to be reevaluated so that we can have a different strategy on how to take those drugs out of society without causing more of an impact. We can make treatment available on request by health services. You know, 10 years ago, drug treatment wasn't an option, really, because it was the price of treatment was ridiculous, right? And 10 years ago, insurance companies weren't required to have drug treatment covered under insurance. Now it is. So it's been, the population of drug treatment has grown tremendously. And drug treatment has also been user-friendly. You know, we're putting people, instead of locking them away in jail, we are putting people back into society, giving them a future. You know, we're giving them options of jobs, sending them back to school, helping them get resources for their future so that they're not trapped in that rut of making easy money, right? So most of our drug treatments are about 90 days. Some have, you know, only 30 days. Some drug treatments are like 30 days and you're back out to the street. Where do we think that the 30-day program is justifiable? Probably not. The studies have shown that 35% of people that do a 30-day program go back to their old ways. You know, selling drugs, stealing cars, robbing people, that sort of thing. So the percentage of people that complete a 90-day program as opposed to 30 days has grown tremendously in the last 10 years. The striking number of 65% of people that actually complete a 90-day program have better resources and better opportunities of going back out into civilization and making their lives become something. The third way is to prevent drug abuse by investing American youth and providing them with accurate information. What does that mean? Well, the government should increase funding for after-school programs. What would that help? That would keep kids from getting out of school and their parents being at work and not going to the park and getting in trouble, or having that possibility of just the after-school environment, which is what most of us have seen. You know, kids are 13, 14 and they have nothing to do after school, so they get into drugs. They start committing crimes, you know, at a young age. Resources can be shifted away from ineffective programs like ONDCP, which is what, a media campaign, and the DARE program, and change it to develop a more user-friendly atmosphere. You know, like after-school programs from whatever it could be, like small city groups. You know, they can get into sports or have opportunities of going somewhere and being in a safe environment and learning something outside the school environment, something that they like to do, kind of like a job training sort of thing, but for kids. You know, like teach them how to play a guitar or teach them how to play a piano, right? Because wouldn't that be fun for you if you were younger and say, you know, maybe your parents didn't have the money to send you to piano lessons. I mean, offer it to the kids, you know what I mean? So that not just the above class people can afford to do these after school programs. Make it affordable for the younger generation as well. The fourth thing is focus law enforcement resources on the most dangerous and violent criminals. So half of the drug arrests in the United States are for marijuana offenses, believe that or not. Possession cases, a low-level, non-violent drug-using offenders dominate police time. And they waste time in court for such a minor crime. What they need to focus on more are the violent crimes. Murders, rapes, child molesting, you know, that sort of thing. And come up with a better strategy of keeping them not so much as locked away, but give them opportunities as well while they are locked up to better their lives, you know, training or I'm trying to think of another one that would be good is anger management classes, you know, or how to communicate. I mean, these are things that we can teach these people when they're in jail so that when they get out of jail, they can face society, right? So the last thing is international drug control efforts should be determinalized and focused on economy development. So that means, you know, we must have serious alternatives for the drug cartels, the drug forcers, you know, the organizations that are promoting crime. The U.S. must stop all illegal immigration drug cartels. They must. It's one of the most highly moved drugs in the United States. Coming from Colombia, coming from Mexico. We got to come up with a way of changing their strategies so that we can overcome these obstacles. So, when I say organized crimes, did that make sense on what an organized crime is? Have you guys heard a lot about the different, you know, crimes that are taking place that may fall under that organized crime? Does that make sense to you?
Sure.
Awesome. So today, that was what my speech is on today. And if you guys have any questions, now's your chance. I would love to answer some questions if any of you guys have anything that you would like to say or answer. Questions? Anybody?
No, you just about covered it all.
Awesome. All right. Thank you guys.
Yay!